FTC. Flight team stand up. Top 10 point guards in NBA history. If Steph Curry is not top two in the point guard, I'm disliking the video. Obviously, Iverson wasn't a point guard, but if Iverson's in here, I'll be surprised because Iverson's a shooting guard listed as.
We recently shared our rankings of the top 10 greatest players in NBA history. In addition to this, we decided to also rank the greatest players by position. Today, we're ranking the top 10 greatest point guards in NBA history. Make sure you watch to the end of this video to see how you can be a part of our next viewer ranked video. Now, before we start, we're going to point out that there are a few players that you won't see on this list. Oscar Robertson, Jerry West, and Allen Iverson.
What?
Because we're listing them as shooting guards.
Oh, okay. I was tripping. No, I was just tweaking. I was low-key tweaking for a second. When Iverson comes up, I get really defensive. Sorry. Yeah, I might have to edit that out. I just don't want people to think I'm weird. Hopefully I remember. I don't know why, bro. I was tweaking.
Just to name a few.
Anybody brings up Iverson or Curry, bro, I automatically tweak, bro.
Their individual achievements, playoff performances, and any other pertinent accolades. Okay, so now that that's all out of the way, let's get started.
Oscar Robertson was listed as shooting guard, though?
Number 10, Walt Frazier.
Okay.
Walt, or Clyde Frazier, set many franchise records while playing for the New York Knicks. While many of them were eventually broken, he still holds the franchise record for the most career assists with 4,791. While with the Knicks, he won 2 championships and won All-Star MVP in 1975.
Wow.
He made the NBA All-Defensive Team 7 times and the All-NBA First Team 4 times.
Nice.
In the 1970 NBA Finals, while matched up against greats like Jerry West and Wilt Chamberlain, Walt scored 36 points, dished out 19 assists, and had 5 steals to steal a championship.
Bro, he was so unathletic too,
it's
bro.
hard to say
bro, if I played in that time, bro, I'd be averaging 40 points, bro.
Defense or his stylish attire.
Why does the net look so like weird too?
Teammate Willis Reed put it best when he said, "It's Clyde's ball. He just lets us play with it once in a while."
Bro, I literally would dominate back in the day, bro.
Gary Payton.
I still do now, but it's just like it would have been better.
For several franchises,
Gary Payton too is acceptable.
He won an NBA championship as part of his farewell tour. But
he was part of that 06 Miami squad. I never knew that. They called him Mr. Glove. I bet you, you youngins, you Jets ain't know that.
He's the only point guard to win Defensive Player of the Year and was selected to the NBA.
Speaking on the ones that think they know everything about basketball, if you already knew this.
Jordan, Kevin Garnett, and Kobe Bryant. Pretty elite company. Gary Payton is number 4 all-time in total steals and 20th all-time in steals per game.
Wow.
But Payton wasn't just an elite defender. He's also 8th all-time in total assists. He was a complete...
Oh! Yo, that is nasty! Oh, he was on the ground while he did that.
Number 8, Kevin Johnson.
Okay.
Kevin Johnson is always held in high esteem by NBA fans, but he's even more amazing to talk about when you look at some of his achievements. He's 6th all-time in assists per game for the regular season and the playoffs.
Wow.
9th all-time in assist percentage. 8th all-time in assist percentage.
Bro, what kind of fade was that he had? Yo, who's his barber? Fire him.
In just his 2nd season in the NBA, Johnson averaged over 20 points and 12 assists. That same year in the playoffs, he averaged nearly 21 points and 11 assists while shooting almost 50% from the floor. By the way, Magic Johnson and Isaiah Thomas are the only other players to average at least 20 points and 12 assists, and Kevin Johnson did it in his 2nd year in the league. He averaged at least 20 points and 10 assists for the next 3 seasons, joining Oscar Robertson and Isaiah Thomas as the only players to do that for 3 consecutive seasons. He never won a championship, but he had several remarkable player performances, outplaying Magic Johnson, beating John Stockton, and of course, dunking on Hakeem Olajuwon.
He dunked on Hakeem Olajuwon?
Points.
Wow, bro. Hakeem, you're just going outside.
Bob Cousy.
Bob Cousy?
Now it's time to go real old school. Bob Cousy was ahead of his time. Or maybe he was just the beginning of everything and everyone is just copying him.
He has nice passes. Imagine copying Bob Cousy, though. Come on.
His flashy passes were something no one had really seen before. Aside from winning 6 NBA championships, he also won...
Bob Cousy is all really... He was like the Rondo of his era, bro.
He's 15th all-time in total assists.
Yeah, he definitely was a Rondo in his era. Other than that, he's just a casual basketball player, bro. No athleticism, no speed, no emotion. I would never pay tickets to see Bob Cousy. But he's a legend, though. Shout out to Bob Cousy.
That matched his game, Cousy was not just a fan favorite. He was considered by many to be the greatest basketball player ever, at least up until that point.
Yeah, thanks for saying that.
Players like Magic Johnson and Steve Nash. He had excellent.
Yeah, he definitely was a Rondo and Steve Nash of his time. Like, this lady's gassing him up. Like,
his behind-the-back dribbling moves may not seem flashy, but it got the ball.
Nah, but see, like, this is where I don't like this person who's obviously telling this whole basketball facts. She doesn't know what she's talking about at all. Like, I sat here and gave the man credit. Like, he has probably the top 2-3 passes I've ever seen of a point guard, and that's it. And then you're gonna go ahead and say that his passing was not all that, or you try to discredit what he said, and you're trying to say that at the same sentence he was the most exciting player and best player of all time. Get out of here, man. Fire this lady, whoever this is.
Direction of creativity and showmanship. Number 6,
Chris Paul, yeah, has to be on the list.
There was a time when Chris
Paul, he was on the Hornets.
The greatest point guard of all time. But after 10 seasons in the league without making it past even the second round of the playoffs with worthy teams around him, he started.
Oh my gosh, that freaking crossover.
But he
you did him dirty. Stay on your feet, Brewer.
He's third.
Take some defensive training camp lessons. Damn.
Third all-time in steals per game.
Yeah, Chris Paul is definitely a legend, bro.
6th all-time in PER and has the highest offensive rating
Him
ever.
and Tyson Chandler was my favorite duo, though.
He's top 10 in PER.
DeAndre Jordan tried too hard to copy Tyson Chandler's play style. That's why it didn't work out.
That's incredible. His short playoff runs.
Why did they have to show the clip of Curry, bro?
On his career, but he's still one of the greatest point guards of all time. Number 5, Jason
Kidd, yes, he has to be on the list.
Had a long and illustrious
bro, Jason Kidd had waves? What the hell? No. Jason Kidd had waves. Man, his hairline was receding though.
After 21 seasons, he finished 2nd in total assists.
Yeah, Jason Kidd is definitely an icon in my era growing up.
His size made him an excellent all-around player. He could score, pass, rebound.
It's like even Jason's name, like his name is just so unique, bro. Like Kidd, like with 2 D's at the end, bro. Just pause if that sounded wrong and shit. But
he's also 3rd all-time in triple doubles.
He's just definitely a legend, bro. Just the way his play style is and everything, bro.
He's actually 5th all-time in three-pointers made.
Really?
His defense
Never
and
knew
smart
that.
play helped win him a championship with the Dallas Mavericks in 2011.
Wow.
Before that, he made back-to-back finals appearances with teams featuring Richard Jefferson, Kenyon Martin, and Keith Van Horn.
And you didn't mention Vince Carter at all, lady?
Number 4, Isaiah Thomas. Known as the point guard that
Isaiah
led the
Thomas at
Pistons
number
to
4.
back-to-back
This is where it's getting downhill right now. You're putting Isaiah Thomas at number 4 over a person like Jason Kidd or even Chris Paul. Come on now, like.
Isaiah Thomas was part of some of the
You
most
put Isaiah
memorable
Thomas
playoff
over Chris
moments
Paul.
ever.
Maybe
His
Jason
battles
Kidd,
against the
but Chris
Celtics,
Paul?
Knicks, and Lakers made for great TV and solidified his reputation as an elite player who could score, pass, and defend. Any team that beats Jordan has to be great, right? He won 2 rings with the Detroit Pistons and won Finals MVP for his efforts in the 1990 playoffs. He's often known for his gritty performances, toughness, and style, and the numbers back up his elite reputation. He's 7th all-time in total assists. Not bad for a guy that had a relatively short career.
Wow.
He's also 5th all-time in assists.
Why did he have a short career?
Season, and 7th all-time.
How are you that small and athletic? Like, what is you? Why did you have a short career for?
Top 20 all-time in steals and assist percentage. He even set the record for the highest assist percentage in league history at 13.9 in the 84-85 season. That record was later broken by John Stockton. After several injuries, Isaiah Thomas retired at only 32 years old. What more could he have done if he had stayed healthy?
32?
It's hard to
Couldn't
say,
stay
but
healthy.
he still earned a high spot in history. Number 3, Steve
Nash at number 3. Wow.
For the younger generation,
That means Steph
Steve
Curry
Nash
definitely is in the top 2. I'm loving it. Low-key loving it.
We'll just ignore his 2 years with the Lakers. After growing as a player with the Dallas Mavericks, Nash had his best years with the Phoenix Suns,
Yep.
perfectly orchestrating their high-octane offense with Amari Stoudemire, Joe Johnson, and Sean Marion.
Oh, Amari.
It's there that he won 2 MVP awards, beating out Shaquille O'Neal.
That pass. Oh my
just
gosh.
the 3rd point guard ever to win the award and the 2nd to win it multiple times. along
The
with
dunk
Michael
contest.
Jordan. Steve Nash is 3rd all-time in total assists.
Oh, he headbutted
3rd in
it.
assist
Yo, I
percentage,
didn't
and 10th
remember that
all-time
dunk
in offensive
contest, yo.
rating.
I don't really watch
Basically,
dunk
he was
contests.
one of the greatest passers of all time. However, he was also a very underrated shooter. He's actually 10th all-time in three-point shooting percentage and had 4 50-40-90 seasons.
Wow.
He and Larry Bird are the only players to do that more than once, and even Larry Bird only did it twice. What could Nash and Dirk have accomplished if they had stayed together?
Facts.
Probably multiple rings, but it's hard to say.
Oh.
Number 2, John Stockton.
John Stockton, number 2. That means Curry's number 1.
I don't know how great John Stockton was, but chances are he's even better than you think. Just listen to some of his accomplishments. He's number 1 all-time in total assists,
Wow.
a record he holds by a margin of more than 3,000.
Wow.
Number 1 in total steals. Number 2 in assists per game for the regular season and the playoffs. Number 1 in assist percentage for the regular season and the playoffs. And number 4 in offensive rating. He holds the record for assists per game average over one season at
Damn, bro. You just got dunked on, bro. How do you get dunked on that bad in the NBA, bro? Like, imagine being somebody's screensaver, bro. Shit's sad, man.
He's known for his offense and passing, and rightfully so. But he wasn't a bad defender either, as highlighted by his being number 1 in total steals and number 7 in steals per game. He was also selected to the NBA All-Defensive Second Team 5 times and was known to be one of the toughest players in the league. The Jazz never missed the playoffs during Stockton's career, and they reached the Western Conference Finals 5 times in a 7-year span. We could go on with these stats. The point is that Stockton owned the court. He was the quintessential point guard and set records that will probably never be beat.
Wow.
He was never able to beat Jordan and win a ring, and surprisingly, he never won MVP, but he's still easily one of the greatest point guards of all time.
That's what's up, number 1.
Magic Johnson. You could probably already...
Why would you just do this to yourself, man? Who owns this channel, bro? You didn't even put Steph Curry in the top 10, bro. You didn't put Steph Curry in the top 10, bro. You didn't put Steph Curry in the top 10 point guard, bro. But you put Bob Cousy. You put people like John Stockton over Steph Curry. Like, why did you do it to yourself, man? I don't even care what Magic Johnson's stats are, bro. Where is Steph Curry, bro? That is so utterly disrespectful, bro. That is so utterly disrespectful, bro. This is so fucking disrespectful on all levels. This is not even freaking funny, bro. You lucky I don't have a heart to dislike videos, bro. I just don't do that shit because it's just bad karma. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like still, bro. Like, you're talking about a player that is like probably the most influential player of the 2000s generation with shooting threes and just character and just personality. And you don't put him at It's too early for this shit, man.